Welcome back to Wilderness Wanderers. In our last video, we took you to the Palm Canyon Oasis in Anza Borrego, our first visit back since the arson attack of 2020, and we were so happy to see that the oasis had recovered.
This week we ask, what do Clark Gable, Carol Lombard, and Marlene Dietrich have in common with the rundown border town of Jacumba and a quirky tourist attraction, the Desert View Tower? In this video,
we are about to go to Hacumba Hot Springs and check out where there used to be an old hotel back in the 20s and 30s.
Jacumba is located off the 8 freeway on Old Highway 80. It is mere feet from the Mexican border and is a town in need of some financial input, to say the least. We came to visit this motel and view the hot pools, but as you can see, it is once again under renovation. But we did get to see some great old properties that are still here. We decided to take a walk down Main Street and discover what else this border town has to offer.
Oh, I know I can say it's a really good day to be alive. Cannot find a way, it's a really good day to be alive. Oh, the sky is blue, taking in the...
It might not look much now, but behind me is what is left of the Hotel Vaughn. This was a 65-room hotel that was built in the 1920s by Bert Vaughn. Bert was a real estate developer from San Diego, and he was convinced that this town was going to become a border crossing with Mexico. He built this hotel, and massive Hollywood stars and politicians came here. People like Hollywood legends, Clark Gable, Marlene Dietrich, and more came and stayed at this hotel. They came here because it had a hot springs. It became the place to visit in the 1930s.
construction of the Vaughn Hotel began in 1923 and included a bathhouse and an apartment building. It opened in the summer of 1925. The resort also attracted travelers from Old Highway 80. Realizing that the border crossing wasn't going to be at this location, Vaughn sold his land and the resort in 1944.
When Interstate 8 bypassed the town in 1967, most roadside businesses folded and the community entered into economic decline. The hotel closed after it burnt to the ground in 1985, and the ruins were torn down in 1991, leaving only the fireplace intact. Here we go, Kev's found the springs. Let's see if it's hot. Kev's gonna try it out.
Oh,
It's warm.
it's warm. It's probably great to swim in though.
Wow, look at this. You can canoe out here?
Hammocks out there.
Oh my goodness, look at the hammocks. Wow.
We're in motion. I can feel the sway.
Yeah, it's as cold as the pool is at home.
Don't know. It's the natural road I know. And when the ground is shaking, you thunder roar.
Since there has been less human activity, the lake has apparently become a bird spotter's paradise. We were lucky enough to see these ducks.
The town was also once accessible from the Impossible Railway, which we hiked along to the Goat Canyon Trestle. We'll put a link above to that hike.
We can't help but be a little fragile through the clatters inside and crackles on the side.
Just before you head over to the hot springs over this hill right here, the bathhouse, the old bathhouse, is right here.
Vibrating us all. Natural ride, vibrating us all. Hear the rocket.
There aren't many places left where you can walk in the footsteps of Hollywood legends. So let's be Clark Gable and Marlene Dietrich walking into the bathhouse. The bathhouse which of course is now in ruins, was once a place where you could get healthy massages, mineral pools, soak and ease away the troubles of being a Hollywood legend. Not much left of it now, but in its heyday, this was the place to be and to be seen.
What a great place to have a little tour of this hot springs and pond. We're now headed over to the Desert Tower.
They are really trying to renovate this area and bring some life back to Jacumba. It is a very sleepy town, so if you do come here, give a donation, help them renovate the springs and the lake, and keep this for future generations to see.
We are now heading up the road about 10 minutes to the Desert View Tower, where we'll share just how these two places are connected.
Honey, I know we're caught in the center of turbulent weather for now. The one thing I know is the world is uncertain.
This lower section of the tower was not part of the original building. This was added later in the 40s and 50s. It was actually added using timbers from the old road. The original road that came through this area was actually a timber road.
Whatever comes next, I'll be right there beside you. 'Cause I'm right where
Ben Schultz, the owner, very kindly allowed us to film inside the tower, which is part gift shop and eclectic, disjointed museum pieces.
I'll be right there beside you. I'll be right, I'll be right, I'll be right, right and right beside you. Oh, you know right where I'm gonna be, right there beside you. Water is rising, the levee is broken, it's flooding commotion this way.
We're on the first level of the tower and already we're getting pretty impressive views.
Hang on together, okay? I'll be going nowhere. I'll be in it with you, honey, I swear. And no matter what you and I do, whatever comes.
This was built in 1920. It was built by Bert Vaughn, who was the real estate developer who built Hacumba. And that's where you get the connection between the two. Now, this was dedicated to the men who built the original highway, which is Highway 8, which we just came up. But he also had a bit of an ulterior motive for building this. It was also to promote his restaurant and bar that used to sit directly opposite here. This is the top section of the tower here. Let's give the bell a ring, shall we? There you go. Not the best bell, but pretty cool.
I'm not alone, no, and neither are you. It's a hell of a time to be living through. I'm not afraid, no, and you shouldn't be too. I've got one hand to hold the roof down and the other's holding on to you. Holding on to you. Oh, you know right where I'm gonna be.
Okay, I'm here with Ben, and he's the owner of the Desert View Tower, and he just wanted me to give him a quick interview here. Let me say, so how long have you owned this?
Well, from when about Hugh Hauser came and he looked around and said, this place is just simply amazing.
Well, it is amazing. And you know, whenever I come here, I just get up to the top and I look at the view and I just go, wow.
I'll be right there beside you. I'll be right there beside you.
In between the tower and the Boulder Park is a picnic area, bathrooms, cactus gardens, and even a newly built yoga platform.
And that's okay, 'cause we're in motion. I can feel the sway. The There's nothing to fear, my friend. Oh no.
The justly famous Boulder Park was created in 1933 by an unemployed engineer, Merle Ratcliffe, who was out of work during the Depression.
Wouldn't worry, it's just a start. I just let my body.
Ratcliffe carved the sculptures you see here now for $1 a day and a jug of wine. What the present-day owner, the self-proclaimed old fat guy hanging around, makes today.
We can't help but be a little fragile through the clatters inside and crackles are the sounds of the natural rattle vibrating us all. Natural
We think this is a magical, mythical place to explore.
vibrating us all.
We came here many years ago when our children were young, and they had so much fun exploring the caves and tunnels and discovering all the carvings and animals. They climbed the rocks and even to this day remember this place fondly.
Natural rattle.
Local history, California history, built in the 1920s. It was finished in 1925. The only remaining San Diego to Yuma roadside attraction that was built back then in the 20s that is now still operational.
We hope you've enjoyed our journey into the past of this sleepy border town and its last surviving tourist attraction. Join us next week when Kat and Uni explore Dana Point and the Ocean Institute. Until next time, we'll see you on the trail.